Hello, everyone. Hi. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to Lay's Real Talk. I can't believe it's the last month of 2025 already. It's December. I still remember how we started the year. All right, here we go. So we're going to talk about Zhang Youxia, General Zhang Youxia's recent visit to Russia, because some of you have asked me. Okay, so his visit to Russia was so mysteriously low-key that speculation erupted immediately. Viewers asked me what's really behind all that. So let me tell you everything I've gathered about this trip. From the timing to state media's total silence to Russia's unusually high-level reception to his disappearance and reappearance, the visit was full of suspense and triggered waves of speculation among China watchers. And while he was gone to Russia, Xi Jinping and his wife made a move on Zhang Youxia's partner in the military, General Liu Yuan. What exactly did they do, and what was the response? Meanwhile, in the realm of the PLA, a highly sensitive and completely secret video, the full trial of the former commander of the 38th Group Army, who defied orders to use force against the students 36 years ago, during the Tiananmen pro-democracy movement, was leaked, and it landed like a bombshell. Keep in mind that all these events took place at a critical moment, right after the fourth plenum, a very sensitive time, during a key phase of the military command reshuffle, while China-Russia relations and the war in Ukraine are in flux. As China-Japan relations worsen and the risk of conflict rises, and at a moment when Xi Jinping's faction is desperate to regain control of the military. So given all this, let's walk through the fascinating stories now unfolding inside Zhongnanhai. First things first, Zhang Youxia's trip. Okay, all right. Let me begin with this picture. All right. The official story and the strange silence. Let me tell you about that. So on November 20th, China's Ministry of Defense posted on its website that CMC Vice Chairman General Zhang Youxia held talks with Russia's defense minister while visiting Russia, and it was at the invitation of the Russian side. They said the two discussed Russia-China military ties, international and regional issues, and agreed to deepen high-level exchanges and practical cooperation. Now, here's what's weird about it. Abnormality number one, state media completely remained silent. China's major state outlets, Xinhua People's Daily, did not report anything about Zhang's trip. Only the Ministry of Defense website posted that short, 100-word notice. Now, in the past, state media never dared to delay coverage of Zhang Youxia. For example, in October 2023, after Zhang met Putin and former Defense Minister Shoigu, Xinhua reported it the very next day. Even on November 6 this year, when Zhang met Serbia's defense minister, the news appeared in the People's Daily the next day. But this time, nothing. No Xinhua report, no follow-up activities, total blackout. And that's the first abnormality. Even the PLA Daily just reissued the Defense Ministry's 100-word note. They didn't write a formal press release or a report. It's just a 100-word note. Abnormality number two is the timing. Now, Zhang's visit was sandwiched between two other high-level visits by CCP officials. 2 days before Zhang arrived in Moscow on November the 20th, Premier Li Qiang had just left Russia. And after Zhang returned to Beijing, Foreign Minister Wang Yi arrived in Moscow. Now, 3 of Xi Jinping's most senior deputies visiting Russia in succession within less than 2 weeks. The only reasonable conclusion is these people represent different factions and opinions. Zhang Youxia represents a completely different political force than Li Qiang and Wang Yi. So Zhang was sent by a different order. Now, while in Moscow, Zhang Youxia received a welcoming ceremony and reviewed the Guard of Honor. So this higher than usual reception suggests Moscow treated him not just as a military visitor, but effectively as a high-ranking counterpart worthy of symbolic respect. But then Zhang Youxia completely vanished. The information about his visit was posted on November 20th, but after that, nothing. No photos, no speeches, no return news. Neither from the Chinese side nor the Russian side. And no one saw him for more than a week. So people panicked and asked, where is Zhang Youxia? And that led to all kinds of speculation. Some said Putin had taken Zhang Youxia hostage in Moscow at the request of Xi Jinping, because after all, she is Putin's best buddy in the CCP. Others say Zhang returned to China and Xi Jinping detained him the moment he landed at the airport. So rumors were everywhere. By the way, it's true that Zhang Youxia had been living a highly guarded life. Reportedly, he works at the PLA building during the day and sleeps in the wartime command center in Xishan at night, which is in the suburb of Beijing. So it's said that he never went home. So he was under full protection by his PLA troops. And rumor even had it that the Minister of Public Security had staged several attempts to take him, but failed. And the only chance that Xi Jinping would have had was when Zhang landed at the airport. So that's why people were suspecting that Xi Jinping might have taken him. And there were even people monitoring state media, the Defense Ministry's website and social media to determine whether the general had returned to Beijing. Now, after 8 days, Zhang reappeared at the Politburo meeting last Friday. And that's this picture. This was actually taken from CCTV's footage. So at last Friday's month-end Politburo meeting, General Zhang Youxia appeared in CCTV footage. People were relieved that he was safe and sound. So why was his trip so low profile? According to a source close to senior military figures in Beijing, that Zhang Youxia was carrying an absolutely top secret political mission on this visit to inform the Russians of a change in the highest command authority of the PLA. The source said that Xi Jinping now retains only the nominal title of CMC chairman. After intense internal struggle, command authority, personnel authority, and strategic decision-making power have shifted to General Zhang. And his purpose in going to Moscow was to reassure Putin that the China-Russia military alliance will remain unchanged. And that's what we heard. There's even, I believe, a NATO intelligence officer who spoke anonymously, and he put it this way. He said, this was a Pledge of Allegiance style visit. Beijing's real military power holders needed Moscow to know who is truly in charge now. At the same time, they sought Russia's recognition and support for Zhang Youxia's new power center. So that was the purpose of this trip. So you can see this from the treatment Zhang received from Russia before and after the fourth plenum. When Zhang visited Russia in October last year, he was not given the high-level honors or an honor guard inspection, but this time he received military head of state level protocol. And this reflects Russia's assessment of Zhang's real status within the PLA. Now, as far as why they were so low-key, unbelievably low-key, I mean, the guesses were everywhere. I think the Chinese state media and Russian media refrained from reporting his visit for two purposes. First, Beijing doesn't want to reveal that she has lost power to Zhang in military affairs. This is important for both domestic audiences and international watchers. And then secondly, this is during a sensitive time of Russian-Ukraine ceasefire negotiation. So both Moscow and Beijing want Zhang's visit to remain invisible. So they collectively stayed silent on this visit. That's my take on that. Now, however, after Zhang resurfaced in Beijing, the rumors about him and Xi Jinping didn't stop. More stories leaked out. This time, it's about what Xi Jinping did while Zhang Youxia was away in Russia. So 2 days ago, a political commentator by the name of Tang Yuan reviewed exclusive information he received from an insider close to the upper echelons of the system. And the insider disclosed how Xi Jinping and his wife attempted to sow discord between Zhang Youxia and his partner in the military, and that's General Liu Yuan. These two are the two red princelings widely believed to be controlling the PLA right now. Zhang Youxia and Liu Yuan are close allies. Liu is Zhang's political strategist and is said to help Zhang in non-military affairs in the PLA. Well, when I say non-military operation type of affairs in the PLA, personnel, political issues, propaganda, it's non-military operation, affairs. So for those of you who just joined my channels recently, let me give you a little background information on who General Liu Yuan is. He is the son of a former Chinese president who was tortured to death during the Cultural Revolution. He was once one of China's most prominent rising political stars, but because he sympathized with the students in 1989 and opposed opening fire during the pro-democracy movement, he was sidelined and later was forced to join the military. And he rose to the rank of general. And after helping Xi Jinping take down two corrupt CMC vice chairmen, Xi Jinping forced him into retirement purely out of jealousy over General Liu's political influence. One can argue that Liu is one of the most influential princelings today. Having Liu on his side makes Zhang Youxia virtually invincible within the military, that is. So Xi Jinping allegedly came up with a plan to drive the two away from each other. So this is what Mr. Tang's contact in Beijing said. So while Zhang was in Russia, Xi Jinping and his wife invited General Liu Yuan to a dinner. Okay, so Xi Jinping and his wife. Here we go. And interestingly, Liu accepted the invitation. During the dinner, Xi Jinping and Peng Liyuan, his wife, repeatedly toasted Liu. When they felt the moment was right, the first couple began to persuade Liu, saying things like, "You come from a red and legitimate revolutionary lineage, and you have high prestige in both the military and the party. Your father, Liu Shaoqi, once served as state president. You would be more suitable to become the party's general secretary and chairman of the Central Military Commission." So basically, Xi Jinping and his wife implied that they would support General Liu if he had the ambition to become China's next leader, right? Being both the chairman of the CMC and also the party secretary general. So according to the insider or the whistleblower, General Liu Yuan listened while Xi Jinping and his wife talked. Only after they had said almost everything did Liu finally speak. And he said, Chairman Zhang Youxia has treated you two fairly. Despite how you mistreated him, he never tried to eliminate you. And yet you take advantage of his absence to do something like this behind his back. After saying this, Liu Yuan reportedly took a recording device out of his pocket, slapping it on the table and said, "Don't mind, I've recorded everything said today, just to prevent any future misunderstandings." And so this move left everyone present stunned. Now, think about it. I think if Liu Yuan accepted the invitation to the dinner, he would certainly have to record their conversation. Otherwise, he could never prove himself to Zhang Youxia or anyone who believed Xi Jinping's words, right? And like exactly what you said. So in other words, he has or had to record the conversations, or else, he could never defend himself. So the exact time or location of this dinner is not known. The whistleblower said the meeting ended on a sour note. Now, General Liu Yuan's movements have been closely watched before and after the fourth plenum. Before the fourth plenum, his appearance at one of the main tables at the PLA's annual anniversary banquet with some generals sidelined by Xi Jinping was noteworthy. That was the end of July. And then after the fourth plenum, he showed up at an event hosted by Xi Jinping. This time, his dress code caught attention. So let me show you his dress code. Okay. It was actually the day that General Zhang Youxia went to Russia. It was November 20th. Xi Jinping hosted a forum marking the 110th anniversary of former CCP leader Hu Yaobang's birth. And CCTV footage showed that General Liu, dressed in a military uniform, was in attendance. Now, Liu is retired, so showing up in uniform instead of civilian clothes was highly unusual. According to PLA's law governing active duty, according to the PLA's internal regulations governing active duty officers, as well as regulations on the management of retired officers and their internal discipline and uniform codes, retired generals face strict limits on when they can wear a PLA uniform. Once you retire, you're not supposed to wear an active duty uniform unless attending a major state event. And violating this rule could be considered an unauthorized wearing of a military uniform, or even impersonating an active duty officer. The light punishment is a warning or reprimand. The heavy punishment can involve legal consequences. So as a retired officer, Liu's choice to wear the uniform at a symposium violates that code. It definitely sent a strong political message, right? There are many interpretations of that message. Why did he choose to wear active duty officer's uniform? So I think it's probably a soft reminder to people that he's not in retirement. This indirectly confirms that he is still actively involved in military affairs. Now, you have to know that one of General Liu Yuan's trademark policies is the nationalization of the Chinese PLA. He's a strong proponent of redefining the PLA and transforming it from a party's military into a national defense force. And about a week ago, something highly sensitive to the regime got leaked. and the leak may be related to the PLA's intention to rebranding itself as a national force. So now let's talk about what got leaked. A complete 6-hour video of the secret military trial of General Xu Qinxian. Where is he? There he is. Former commander of the 38th Group Army during the 1989 Tiananmen massacre. So the video of his trial was released for the first time. Within hours, the entire Chinese-speaking world was in shock. For many China scholars, its previous historical records, its history staring back at them or at us. For China's military, it exposed cracks inside the party army system. And for the people, it was a collective echo of humanity that had been suppressed for 36 years. Now, the story of Xu Qinxian, the general who defied Deng Xiaoping's order and refused to send armed troops to Tiananmen in 1989, is now fully disclosed after this 6-hour video was released. So now let me talk a little bit who this general is. He joined the PLA at age 15. Let me show this picture was taken from the video when he was on trial, and this was him. Now he joined the PLA at age 15, and he fought in the Korean War. He climbed the ladder and moved up in ranks from the grassroots to a top commander purely based on his merit. He was not a princeling or a political favorite of anyone. And in 1987, 2 years before the Tiananmen Square massacre, he took command of the 38th Group Army, the PLA's most elite unit, known as the Imperial Guards, responsible for protecting the capital city. And it was the centerpiece of the PLA's military force. Now, based on the political trajectory at the time, if General Xu had obeyed the order to suppress the student protesters in 1989, his next step would likely have been commander of the Beijing military region and eventually vice chairman of the CMC. But he gave all of that up. At age 55, he chose something heavier than rank. He declared, he said, "I cannot lead my troops to attack the people. Doing so would make us criminals in the eyes of history." His refusal at the time shocked the leadership. Deng Xiaoping was utterly shocked. And the vice chairman of CMC at the time, Yang Shangkun, they immediately dismissed and detained General Xu and ordered a secret military trial. And now the trial is exposed. So in this video, the prosecutor accused him of disobeyed orders and declared that the Tiananmen protests were a counter-revolutionary riot and that he, the general, obstructed the party's central committee. And the judge repeated over and over that the party's decision is above everything. So this was him. And then the camera turns to the general. He sits upright, no fear, no anger. He was actually very calm throughout the trial. It was amazing. I mean, this man is very special, or was, because he passed away. And he said, history would judge this event. And he also said, carrying out this mission could bring honor, or it could make us criminals in history. And the courtroom went silent. And the judge cut him off, forbidding him from talking politics. And then he replied quietly. He said, "I'm only speaking facts." So the video documented all of those exchanges, and it clarified several myths for China scholars who study the 1989 political upheaval. So the first thing it clarified is that the real signatures or signatories of the martial law order was signed by Deng Xiaoping and the chairman of the CMC and his vice chairman, Yang Shangkun, but it was missing one key signature, that is from the party secretary general, Zhao Ziyang. Zhao Ziyang did not sign. So this confirms once again the crackdown was not a collective CCP decision. It was pushed through by a small faction. Some can even argue that it was not lawful because it was missing a signature. Yeah, in CCP's own rule, for generals to deploy troops, they need 3 signatures: the signature from the party head, the signature from the chairman and the vice chairman of the CMC. But it's missing one signature. So that's clarified. And the second thing is General Xu's 38th Army was supposed to be the main suppressing force. It was designated as the vanguard unit, but because its commander refused, the mission was handed over to the 27th Army. And then, so many people in the 38th Group Army were very grateful because they don't want to be associated with this atrocity. It kind of saved the reputation of the 38th Army because of the decision of its commander. And then the 27th Army became one of the units, or the main unit, firing the most shots on the night of June 3rd to the 4th. And also it clarified that for years, a rumor circulated saying that the general refused to send troops because the martial law document lacked Zhao Ziyang's signature, which was true. I mean, right, it is lacking his signature, but the video proves that he didn't even know that there was a split in the leadership at the top. His reason of refusal was very simple. It was simple and human. He refused to open fire on the people. Actually, for a month before the crackdown, he had already sent, this general had sent unarmed troops into Beijing 3 times. He knew the student movement was peaceful, and he knew public support was with them, and he knew sending armed troops would lead to bloodshed. And in the trial, he said, entering the city with weapons, he said something would definitely go wrong. So he wasn't refusing to follow orders. He was refusing to be the man behind the gun. And he said it clearly. He said, the Central Committee can remove me as a commander or as the commander, but this order I cannot give. And he appeared very calm throughout the video. And the video, interestingly, reviewed a quiet but powerful moment when a soldier risked everything to protect the general. So during an inspection, one of Xu's, one of his bodyguards, lied to investigators, claiming that Xu's briefcase was his own, hiding it to protect Xu's notebooks and documents in the briefcase. So that kind of loyalty doesn't appear around tyrants or brutal commanders, right? It shows something important, that his refusal to obey was widely admired within his unit. It wasn't a lone moment of conscience. I think there are many people under him who had hidden moral resistance. So this trial began on March 17th, 1990, almost 9 months after the massacre. It was a complete secret. The court declared in the video saying that this case involves state secrets. The information must not be leaked. But now, 36 years later, the footage is out, revealing the entire chain of command behind martial law, the signatures on the order, and the mobilization process of the PLA. So people are asking, why was this video leaked in 2025? And the timing is extremely sensitive because now the PLA is going through the biggest political upheaval in decades after so many generals were removed, right? And when a sweeping military purge is still underway. And it is said that the leak made Xi Jinping furious. The video was leaked on the 25th, and the very next day, the director and the deputy director of PLA's Military Bureau of Classified Information were both abruptly removed. People said that it was they tied them, they connected the dots. So now everyone is asking, did someone inside the military deliberately leak this to send a message? Because this doesn't look like an accidental leak, because you have 6 hours of video, and it's not like you have a page of document that accidentally got leaked. 6 hours of video got leaked. This sounds like intentional, right? So many analysts believe the leak likely came from reformist forces inside the PLA, and the rank could be very high. I mean, for someone to make the decision to leak this, it has to be someone in a powerful position. And the intent is to send a warning, even a declaration. So this whole episode isn't about revisiting Tiananmen Square massacre or rehabilitating the 1989 student movement. It's a message aimed at the present. The military must serve the nation, not a handful of individuals. In most modern nations, I mean, this is common sense, but in China, it's a forbidden phrase. Because previously, actually after 1989, some reform-minded military leaders like Yang Dezhi and Qin Jiwei proposed the idea of the army belongs to the nation, but Deng Xiaoping crushed the idea immediately. Because if the military belongs to the party holds power. If the military belongs to the nation, the people hold power. And that is the fundamental taboo of authoritarian regimes. But this leaked video now has sparked a new wave of discussion about whether the Chinese military is the party's tool to suppress people, or it should serve the people. Remember, General Liu Yuan is the biggest proponent of the nationalization of the PLA. So I think this leak is not accidental. It's highly sensitive information, and it's a full release. They didn't release a clip, right? I mean, they could have just released 5 minutes of it, 20 minutes of it. No, they released the whole video, the full trial. I think it's an intentional act by someone who wants the PLA to remain a people's military and not the party's military. By the way, General Xu Qinxian was sentenced to 5 years in prison, and after release from the prison, he was living under surveillance or house arrest in Shijiazhuang, Hebei, and he passed away on January 8th, 2021, at the age, I think, 85. And he was a distant relative of mine, an in-law of mine. I didn't meet him. This was from years ago. I didn't meet him, but I met his family members. So it's a great honor to mention him here. All right, that's what I have for you. Now, before I take any questions, I want to share with you the music version of my song. It's the theme music or soundtrack of Lazy Road Talk. And it's only 4 minutes long. So I want to take a break while I play the music for you. And the feel is very different from the songs, I should say. So take a brief break, and I'll be back for Q&A and more information. So here's the video. Oh my goodness, it starts on its own. Okay, Chris did this this lovely message for me. Well, thank you, Chris. So here we go. All right. So how do you like that? I couldn't say enough praises of my very talented composer. She did such a wonderful job. I mean, listening to this music really give me goosebumps. It's very, very touching and very powerful. All right, I'm so happy that I shared it with you. Now, am I allowed to be a little commercial today? I okay, I don't have a lot of sponsors because I find it hard to really determine what products I actually like and want to endorse because it does take time for you to or for me to, try the products and then really pick something that I like. But because it's Christmas, this year I decided to put together a gift guide, Lay's Christmas gift guide. The link is in the description of this video. I picked 7 products, and every product has a story. I have a story to tell. So very quickly, well, the fabric bag. I have so many leather bags, and uh, this is my first fabric bag, and it's just so special. I got so many compliments. So it's very rare to find a fabric bag that's very elegant and functional and easy to use. And then you get the mug. That's Lay's Lay's mug. I'm not going to talk too much about it. The eye patches, they work. Like I think a good analogy of the eye patches is like, we clean our teeth, right? But we don't clean our eyes. Have you ever thought of like how we use our eyes so much, especially with all the devices we now have? I spend so much time on the computer and also on my devices. But have you ever thought about cleaning your eyes? So these eye patches, they are really traditional Chinese herbal formula, but they are these little stickers that you put around your eyes, and then it really soothes the eyes, and it feels great. I really really like it. And then the desk mat. It's a famous Chinese poem called Orchid Pavilion Gathering. It's a 4th century calligraphy by a famous Chinese calligrapher, Wang Xizhi. You can research about that, but I think it's just very pretty to look at. And then I want to talk about my favorite store in New York City on the 5th Avenue. It's actually a place called, what is it called? Henry Bandel. I don't know. It's such a whimsical store. I mean, it's a huge store on 5th Avenue. They sell these, women's accessories and skin lines. It's just a fascinating store. Their products are not that expensive, but they're really nice quality. And it's a very fun store on 5th Avenue. They've been there for 125 years. They closed. It's the saddest moment for me. And the store closed in 2019, right before COVID. Not only, they didn't just went online, they just closed the store. It's just such an iconic New York City place, and it's gone. And their most successful brand, their all-time best-selling product or brand in the 124-year history of the store, Henry Bandel, was a skin line called Immapure. And it's a local American brand. It's actually, the headquarters was, I believe it's still Connecticut. Yeah, the company was in Connecticut. It may be, I don't know, in New Jersey, but it's made in USA. And they make this fabulous skin line, and it's unisex. It's fragrance-free. And you should check it out. So, and it's the only skin line built entirely around clinical grade bovine colostrum. Colostrum is the first milk produced in the 72 hours after birth. It's a natural superfood known for healing, regeneration, and immune support. And then we have the gold. This is actually from a longtime fan. His name is David. he reached out to me. And this maker is very unique. It's a truly old-fashioned. They have no website, no social media, nothing flashy. They even didn't have a website. They built this page exclusively for me. So they've been quietly crafting small precious metal pieces for years, focusing on tradition rather than trends. And that's exactly the charm. So I decided to include them. And I think Chinese, all Asians love gold. I want to add a touch of gold in my holiday gift guide. And then the book of songs, you probably, if you're familiar with the Chinese culture, then you must have heard of the book. It's called Shi Jing, right? It's the oldest existing collection of Chinese poetry. Traditionally, it's said to have been compiled by Confucius. And the book includes, I think, 305 poems. And this book translated 45 of them. I love anything that's bilingual, anything that's beautifully produced in a bilingual manner. I love them. And so it's beautifully done in both languages. So I want to include a book. Just something fun that I put together for the holiday. And, if you need to find something unique for your loved ones or for yourself, please check them out. And not every product, I don't get a commission from every product. Some of them are just purely out of my love for the product. Some others, I do get a small commission. So yeah, so that's my selection because I don't do sponsorship. I decided to pull my own products. All right, so that's all. Let's see if people have any questions. Did I lose everyone because of this very commercial talk? I think I'm allowed, right? Once in a year, because this is holiday season. Why not? Okay, let's see what questions do people have for me? Okay, let me first thank Brian Cow. Oh, you're back as Brian Cow. Well, thank you, Brian. Thank you. All right. Okay. Fireflies 60. Well, thank you, Fireflies. All right, let's see. Oh, here we go. Irvin, sorry. Well, thank you, Mark. I love that. Okay, let's see. Questions, comments? All right. Oh, here's a question from Seek the Truth. Saw the picture of Wang Huning. What's the Mr. Evil up to these days? Any updates? From what I heard is he has the fact that he has served 3 CCP leaders in his decades, people say he's the longest serving CCP official ever. He's been around for 30 plus years in Zhongnanhai. And there's not a single CCP official who lasted that long except him. So now why do you think he's able to survive all these political purges and struggles? It's because he's very flexible. The man would just, naturally, I think people say that he's already switched his side to the party elders. But then to answer that question, we really have to answer the fundamental question, or the key question, well, who's really in charge? Remember, there's an intense debate between the two sides. One believes that Xi Jinping is still very much in control, and the other side believes that he's not. He's just a show. The party elders are in control, and they are using Xi Jinping for the time being as transition because they need more time. They've started what they call the Hua Guofeng model. Hua Guofeng was Mao's chosen heir, but it took him 3 years, or it took Deng Xiaoping 3 years to formally phase him out. From the moment that Deng Xiaoping decided that Hua Guofeng is on his way out to the time that he's actually out, there were 3 years. And during the 3 years, Hua Guofeng still acted like the head of the state, going on international trips, hosting meetings, And he did all of that. But his power was gradually removed from him during that 3 years. So people say Xi Jinping is in the same mode right now. And Wang Huning supposedly has already jumped ship. But because they all have to act together to put on the facade that Xi Jinping is still the one, then they have to, appear working together. So that's my answer. All right. People like the music. Yeah, I found this music version of the song actually very, very powerful. It's actually is in a way it's more powerful than the songs. And I find it so I think my musician friend did an excellent job. It's all the credits go to them. All right. Someone said the background Artemis is also the name of a spacecraft. Yeah, that's no. The theme song is not called Artemis. It's the artist is she calls herself Artemis. That's her name, not the name of the song. Not the name of the song. Sorry, I should make that. We should do that. We should change that. They published the video. Who is they? There's nobody right now who can take on the CCP except maybe the military. Is this an attempt to take the military accepted by the people? Who is they? Okay, a good question. So I told you my belief. I think the military was the one who released this video, right? Whoever is controlling the military is the one behind this leak. But there's another school of thought. Some people believe Xi Jinping intentionally leaked this video. The 6-hour trial video of General Xu. And they argue that the reason why Xi Jinping leaked this video was so that he wants to blame the PLA for their role in the massacre in 1989. So that's their explanation. Okay, so they say that Xi Jinping leaked this video just to show that the PLA is not clean in its role or in the role of the massacre in 1989. He's trying to say you got blood on your hands as well. So that's why he leaked this trial video. I'm not convinced. I think there's so many other ways that Xi Jinping can do that to achieve the goal of blaming the PLA for having played a role in the massacre. But why do you release this trial video? Because it exposed so many secrets, right? How the decisions were made, who told who what, who said what, and so I'm not buying that explanation. That's what I firmly believe, that this video was leaked by those in charge of the military, with the intention to argue that the military should not serve the few individuals running the party. The military should serve the people. And that's my personal belief. Okay, all right. That's all. Any other questions? All right, no questions, please. Oh, here's a question from Nicole. Forwarded a question from Shiny Man 3777. How can you let guest Ken last week say that she is in full control when Zhang Youxia is in full control of the PLA? How can your guest? Well, you need to ask him. But that's what I disagree with him on that. But there are a lot of people who hold the same view as he does, and their arguments are pretty much come from the state media, all the official media, and then the fact that Xi Jinping is still calling Donald Trump, the fact that Xi Jinping is still planning to host Trump for his visit to China next year, or planning a trip to visit the US. But all their arguments rest on state propaganda or the official narratives. And that's precisely why I disagree. Because if you base all of your arguments on official narratives and state propaganda, it's gonna be wrong, right? So that's what I disagree with them. But there are a lot of people who hold that view. So as far as why he holds that view, I think you need to ask him. You could bring this question to him. All right. Someone said excellent music. Can you tell us more about it? Well, it's the music that my composer wrote for the song Wisdom and Courage that I released to celebrate the fifth anniversary of Lazy Road Talk. And so this is the music version. And I like it so much. I actually like the music version a lot. I think I'm going to play it from time to time here. Is that okay with you guys? Yeah? Some music? All right, seek the truth. Always enjoy your economic breakdowns of how bad the China's economy is. How long can they hold out? Someone say it's gonna see when it goes down, it could happen very fast. Some people think that within the next 6 months, things can become really bad. So first quarter of next year, yeah. Someone asked me, is it true from past Z word, is it true that Mercedes shut down its factories and joint ventures in China as a result of CCP's requirement that the German firm appoint a permanent CCP member to its board of directors? That's what I heard a couple of years ago, but I don't know what has happened actually. Some of the factories were shut down. I heard, but does that mean that Mercedes has permanently shut down its operations in China? I don't have that impression because I think the Germans were still very much enthusiastic about their manufacturing base in China. I think the Germans, up until maybe things have changed in the last couple of months because since Trump took office, but before that, I think the Germans were still very much in the mindset of collaborating with the Chinese. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure. But you're right. The main issue is that you need to have a party committee. You need to have a party committee at every factory, and you need to have a party member on the board. That's required. All right. Someone said, give it 10. Justice for Yu Monglong. Yes. All right. So here's a question from Joey Blaze, 439. Do you think more bad luck for Hong Kong? Bad feng shui analysis appears correct. There's so many feng shui analysis for Hong Kong as a result of that fire. And there are a couple of big fires in southern China, in Guangdong. Did you see the fires in Guangdong? That looked very, very vicious and scary. That broke out, I think, the day before. I mean, no, yesterday. Maybe the day before yesterday. Yeah, it looked very vicious. And there are people doing feng shui analysis to figure out what's really going on with all these fires in southern China. It could be related to some celestial phenomena. But there are also people who say that the fires were intentionally set off by the state security agent. So there are all kinds of speculations out there. But there was a 24-year-old Hong Kong student who wrote an open letter asking to establish an independent investigation organization to investigate the fire. And he was arrested. He was detained by Hong Kong police. Could you imagine that? And I saw videos of a single mother who cried in public saying that she worked so hard to pay for her, to pay off her mortgage, or I don't know if it's paid off or not, but to pay the mortgage of her home. And then she saved the money for the remodeling. And now it's all gone. So I don't know how the Hong Kong government who's gonna be responsible to pay these people, pay back for the lost property and also lost lives. Um, all right, let's see. All right, here's a question. I already answered the Mercedes question. All right, is that all for tonight? Oh, seek the truth. It's rumored that Long Long has fled Australia. Oh, Yang Lan. Oh, yes, this is the biggest. It's said that the 23-year-old young woman who has caused a tragic car accident that severely injured a driver in Sydney, Australia, has fled the country. As the third highest ranking CCP official, Zhao Leji, took her back. He recently paid a visit to Australia, but part of his mission to go to Australia was to take Yang Lanlan back to China. Whoever is dealing with the legal proceedings was her body double. And I'm in the process of making a video for my Looking Glass channel to talk about that, because there's just so much interesting details about who she really is. Yeah, I'm working on that. It should come out very soon. So stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. All right, that's all for tonight. I thank you very much. I'll see you on Thursday. Bye. Bye. And don't forget my gift list. Check it out. Thank you. Bye-bye.